The alarm blared through the metal corridors of Earth's outer colony base on Zenthra 9. Soldiers scrambled, scientists dropped their tools, and red lights painted everything in panic. Lieutenant Damon Cruz had just taken his first sip of hot, synth coffee when the base shook violently. "What the hell was that?" he shouted, dropping the cup. The floor vibrated. The sound of gunfire echoed from the eastern wing. A comm unit crackled. "This is not a drill. We're under attack. By something. Unknown." Damon grabbed his plasma rifle and ran through the hallway. People screamed and scattered like ants. A thick, green mist had started creeping through the vents. As Damon reached the command center, he saw something no human had ever expected. Tall, humanoid figures made of flowing silver liquid walking through the walls like ghosts. They didn't use weapons. Instead, they touched humans, and those they touched went still, frozen, mind empty. But then, one of the aliens did something strange. She stopped. Her eyes, yes, eyes formed in the liquid mass, locked with Damon's, and for a moment, everything else faded. She didn't attack. She looked scared. Suddenly, the alien recoiled as if in pain and disappeared through the wall. Damon was confused, but before he could speak, a soldier yelled, "Lieutenant, they've reached engineering!" Damon led a counterattack, pushing through. The fog and plasma bolts. He couldn't stop thinking about her. The alien who stopped mid-attack. The one who looked at him like she recognized him. Within minutes, the base was lost. Damon and a few survivors retreated into the deep mining tunnels below the base. Inside the dark, damp caverns, Damon turned to the others. "We'll survive down here. We just need to figure out what they are, and what they want." That night, as they camped near the heat vents, Damon heard a whisper in the dark. "Human." He stood up, eyes wide. "Who's there?" From the shadows stepped the silver alien, but she was different now. Her form was more stable, her face more defined, like she was trying to mimic human shape. "I don't want to fight," she said softly. Damon aimed his rifle. "What are you?" She held up her hands. "My name is Elvira. I'm not like the others. I broke the link." "Link?" Elvira nodded. "We are a hive. One mind. But when I looked at you, something broke." Damon's heart raced. "Was this a trick? Why tell me this?" "Because I need your help," she whispered. "They'll come for me. Unless I merge with you." "What?" "If I bond with your mind, our thoughts will become one. I will be safe inside you." Damon stepped back. "That sounds insane." "You felt it," she said, "when our eyes met. You felt the connection, didn't you?" Damon didn't reply, but yes, he had. Suddenly, the ground above shook again. Another blast. More aliens were hunting. Elvira stepped closer, desperation in her voice. "Please, Damon, let's become one. Just for now. Let me hide inside your thoughts." He looked into her glowing eyes, and the part that scared him the most was that he was tempted to say yes. Damon stared at the alien girl, Elvira, as her body shimmered in the dim cavern light. Her silver skin glowed softly, pulsing like it was alive with emotion. "I don't even know what you are," he said, voice low but steady. "I told you," she replied, her voice smooth like liquid silk. "I'm from the core mind. We are, one being spread across many forms, but now I'm alone." She stepped closer. "When I saw you, something changed. I broke away, and now they want to erase me." Damon didn't lower his rifle. "And merging with me will hide you?" "Not hide. Bond." She touched her chest. "Your mind can protect me. If you allow me in, they can't track me anymore." He hesitated. "What does bonding mean?" Elvira looked almost shy. "You'll feel me, I'll feel you. Thoughts, emotions, pain, everything. For a moment we won't be two, we'll be one." Damon swallowed hard. His instincts screamed no, but his gut said something else. The way she spoke, the way she looked at him, it didn't feel like a trap. The ceiling rumbled again. Screeches echoed from above. "They're coming," she said. Damon glanced back at the others in the cave. 3 wounded soldiers, 1 barely conscious. He couldn't protect them all in another wave. But maybe, just maybe, this was the only way. "Fine," he said. "Do it." Elvira nodded. She stepped forward, gently pressing her glowing hand against his chest. Her touch was warm, surprisingly warm. Then her body shifted, melting into light, flowing into his chest like vapor. Damon gasped, stumbling backward. He felt everything. Flashes of her memories, cities of liquid towers, the cold high voice that once commanded her the moment she saw him, and felt curiosity, wonder, something her kind was not supposed to feel. And now, silence. The hive had cut her off. Inside his mind, he heard her voice, clear, gentle. "You're strong, Damon. So loud, so alive." He blinked. "You're inside. Me, yes, just enough to stay safe, but I won't take over, I promise." He looked at his hands. Nothing had changed, except everything had. Suddenly, footsteps echoed above. Shadows danced on the tunnel walls. More aliens. "Let me help," Elvira whispered in his thoughts. "I can show you what they're made of, where their weakness is." Damon raised his rifle, and this time, he knew where to aim. The fight was quick and brutal. He moved faster than ever before, guided by a strange clarity. He saw the aliens before they struck, dodged their ghost-like attacks, and fired straight into their glowing cores. When it was over, the silence returned. The others stared at him, in shock. "What just happened?" whispered one soldier. "You moved like one of them." Damon said nothing. He just walked forward, breathing heavy. "You were amazing," Elvira whispered inside him. He sat against the cave wall. "How long can we stay like this?" "A day. Maybe 2. But the longer I'm in you, the more they'll notice." Damon sighed. "Then we need a plan." Elvira paused, then said, "There is one place they can't reach. The signal vault, deep, underground. If we get there, I can transfer myself into a separate shell. You'll be free again. And you? Alive, hidden, free." He nodded. "Then we go." But part of him wasn't ready to let her go, and deep inside she felt it too. The bond wasn't just survival anymore. Something else was growing, something neither of them fully understood. Yet. The underground tunnels were called the Broken. Veins by the miners. Twisting, unstable, and full of ancient alien tech no one dared to disturb. Most of the base's old maps didn't even cover them, but that's exactly where Damon Cruz led his small team. Behind him, limping and coughing, were the 3 remaining soldiers, and deep within him, Elvira whispered directions. "Take the left fork. There's a collapsed shaft. We can slide down." Damon hesitated. "That sounds risky." "It's the fastest path to the signal vault." He nodded once. "We're going down." The others looked nervous. "Sir, are you sure?" asked Corporal Finch, the youngest of the group. His face was pale. "Those tunnels, they're full of broken machines and weird energy fields. People went missing down there." Damon looked at him sharply. "You can stay, or follow me." No one stayed behind. They descended the old shaft. Dust filled the air. The metal walls groaned as if the base itself didn't want them there. Every few minutes Damon could feel a pulse through the stone, like the hive was still searching above, and inside him Elvira grew tense. "They're getting closer. I can feel the mind scanning." He clenched his fists. "Can it sense you?" "Not yet. But if I get emotional, or if you do, the signal might spike." Damon stopped in his tracks. "So I need to stop feeling?" "No. Just don't feel about me." There was silence after that, but it was already too late. Hours passed as they crawled through tight passages, crossed shattered bridges over glowing crystal rivers, and avoided ancient machines with twitching parts that still sparked with forgotten energy. Corporal Finch screamed when something brushed his shoulder in the dark, but it was only a curtain of hanging biocables. Still, Damon couldn't shake the feeling they were being watched. Then it happened. A sharp metallic screech tore through the tunnel ahead. Everyone froze. Out from the dark stepped a massive construct, 8 legs, glowing red eyes and blades for arms. It wasn't one of the Hive's normal units. This one was old, left over from the war that ruined this world long ago. It's not from my kind, Elvira said, but it reacts to energy signature, like mine. Damon raised his rifle. How do we beat it? You can't, but I can. Before he could ask what she meant, Damon felt her presence surge. His arms moved on their own, twisting strange. Knobs on his rifle, controls he didn't know existed. The weapon hummed with a new light. He fired once. The bolt didn't just burn, it ripped the construct's core in half. The monster fell, sparking and twitching. The other stared at him again. Finch whispered, "Sir, are you still human?" Damon didn't answer. They reached a chamber that shimmered with strange tech, walls made of glass and pulsing stone, floor panels glowing in alien code. Elvira whispered almost reverently, "This is it, the signal vault, built by those who came before both humans and my kind." Damon stepped forward. "So, how do we get you out of me?" A glowing pedestal stood in the center. Elvira's voice grew softer. "Touch it. Think of me. I will shift into the vault's energy stream and form a new shell. I'll be separate again." His hand hovered over it, but he didn't move. "Why are you hesitating?" she asked. He took a breath. "Because I don't want to lose you." "You won't?" He touched the pedestal. Light surrounded him. He felt Elvira pull away, like wind leaving his lungs. But halfway through the transfer, something went wrong. The pedestal sparked violently. Alarms echoed from the walls. Elvira screamed in his mind, "They found us! They're jamming the vault!" The connection broke. Elvira's form flickered halfway out of him, half in the real world, half still inside his mind. And now, she was trapped, half merged, both in him and beside him. Her body collapsed, glowing and unstable, twitching with pain. Damon rushed forward. "Elvira!" She looked up, her eyes flickering like glitching stars. I can't move. I'm stuck. Damon, this hurts." He held her close. "We'll fix it, I promise." But in the distance he could hear footsteps again. The Hive was coming, and now she couldn't run. Elvira lay in Damon's arms, half solid, half light. Her glowing silver body flickered like a broken hologram. Her eyes fluttered open, and for a moment he saw both fear and shame. "I didn't mean for this," she whispered. "I thought I could transfer cleanly. I didn't know they would jam the signal." Damon gritted his teeth. The chamber around them, once peaceful, now pulsed with warning lights. Alien symbols blinked red on the glass walls. The ancient system was failing. "You're not leaving me," he said. "We'll find another way." Behind them, Corporal Finch looked shaken. "Sir, what is she now? She's not fully alien anymore, but not human either." Damon rose, placing Elvira gently against the pedestal. "She's both, and she's still herself." Elvira's form glowed brighter for a second, then dimmed. "I'm breaking." Her voice echoed faintly in his head. "If we don't find a stable field soon, I'll vanish." Damon looked around the chamber. There must be something. This place was meant to store data, minds, even energy beings. There has to be a stabilizer. Finch checked a nearby console. "Most systems are ancient. I don't think we can power any of this, not unless we reroute something big." Damon looked down at Elvira. He made a decision. "Take the others and get out," he told Finch. "What?" "No, sir. Go, I'll hold them off. I'll keep her safe. Finch hesitated, then saluted. I'll send help, I swear it. As the others disappeared into the tunnel, Damon knelt beside Elvira. I won't let them take you. She looked up at him, her hand barely able to lift, but it reached for his face. I feel strange, she said. Like I'm floating, like I'm slipping. Damon placed her hand on his chest. Then hold on. The ground trembled. A loud hum filled the vault as a circular doorway opened behind them. Shadows entered, not soldiers, but ghost-like figures of light and liquid. Hive units. 6 of them. They moved silently, forming a circle. Their voices came not from mouths, but from the air around them. She belongs to us. She was never meant to think. Return what is broken. Damon stood between Elvira and the figures. She made a choice, you can't have her. The figures paused. Then one of them stepped forward, its form taller than the rest. Then we will take you too. Suddenly the hive lunged. Damon fired his plasma rifle, but it only slowed them. The creatures moved like mist, reforming. Still he stood his ground, taking shots, throwing grenades, backing up only when they got too close. Then, a sudden flash. Elvira, struggling to rise, let out a sharp cry. Her body glowed with unstable light, and then she exploded in a sphere of harmless energy that knocked everything back. The hive reeled. Some faded into the walls. Damon rushed to her side again. What was that? I used part of the bond, she whispered. Your mind gave me a spark. I fought them off, but I can't do it again. Damon grabbed her shoulders gently. Then we end this. Together. She blinked, weakly smiling. You still want to be merged? He nodded. All the way. No half bond. You and me. One. Her eyes filled with silver tears. Then let's do it. Damon lay her back against the pedestal again. He knelt and closed his eyes. Take everything, he whispered. I won't resist. Elvira's light wrapped around him, not like before, but deeper, richer. Her thoughts flowed into his. His memories blended with hers. Every joy, every pain, every fear. And in return, he felt her wonder. Her sorrow, her loneliness, then silence. Damon opened his eyes. The chamber was still. The hive was gone, and Elvira was no longer beside him. She was within him, fully. But something was different now. He could feel her heartbeat inside his chest. He could hear her thoughts whisper. We're one now, truly. And somehow it didn't feel strange. It felt complete. Damon stood alone in the ancient vault chamber. At least he looked alone. But inside him, Elvira's voice whispered calmly, I'm here. The light from the pedestal had dimmed and the hive creatures had disappeared. For now. His chest rose and fell slowly as he adjusted to the new feeling. Not just a presence in his mind, but a true fusion. She was part of him now. Her emotions, her thoughts, her instincts, merged with his own. He touched his chest where she had entered, and she whispered again, We have to leave, Damon. They felt the merge. The core mind knows. Damon grabbed his rifle and stepped out of the vault. Then let's make them regret knowing. Meanwhile, above ground, the hive swarm circled the ruined Earth base like vultures. Black mist floated over steel ruins. Dead machines sparked quietly in the distance. In a tall command tower, a new figure arrived, massive, fluid-like with pulsing red veins. It was not like the others. This one had a name, Core Voice 1. It did not walk. It floated. Around it, lesser hive units trembled. The traitor has merged, it said. Begin full system purge. Erase all who touched her signal. The swarm hissed in unison. The hunt for the hybrid had begun. Deep in the underground caverns, Damon and Elvira navigated the broken tunnels. Damon's eyes were sharper now, his movements quicker, almost inhuman. Elvara's senses guided his steps before his feet even touched the floor. He wasn't just a soldier anymore. He was something new, and the others noticed. Corporal Finch and the two remaining soldiers stared at Damon as he returned from the vault alone. "Sir, where's the alien?" Finch asked quietly. "She's gone," Damon replied. "But she's not dead." The young soldier frowned. "I don't understand." Damon took a deep breath. "She's inside me now. We've merged." The group went silent. One of the older soldiers gripped his weapon tighter. "You're saying you let her in your head? Sir, that's suicide." "No," Damon said firmly. "That's survival. We're stronger now, smarter." Finch asked, softly. "But, are you still you?" Damon turned to face them fully, his eyes glowing faintly with silver light. "Mostly." They marched through the tunnels, aiming to reach a hidden communications array built into a nearby mountain. If they could activate it, Earth Command might still be listening, but every step forward brought more danger. The hive was coming faster now. They didn't just drift through walls anymore. They hunted in packs. Strange, spiked creatures with no faces, crawling on walls and ceilings. At one point, the group had to fight for their lives in a collapsed chamber. Damon moved like lightning. He dodged attacks before they began, sliced one beast's head off with nothing but a broken blade, and crushed another with a thought. Yes, with a thought. Elvara's energy flowed through his nerves like wildfire. He was still human, but also something more, and that terrified the others. Later that night, in a quiet chamber lined with glowing fungus, Damon sat alone. The others kept their distance. "They don't trust us," Elvara said gently in his mind. "They're afraid," Damon replied. "I would be too. Do you regret it?" He paused. No, there was silence between them. But silence didn't mean emptiness. With every heartbeat, he could feel her inside him, warm, curious, protective. Even when she wasn't speaking, her presence calmed his thoughts. Then she said, "We should give them time. But we don't have much." The core voice is awake. Damon frowned. "What is it?" The core voice is the central being of the hive. Rarely moves, but if it's hunting, it means they're scared and desperate. "Good," Damon said coldly. "Let them be scared." Suddenly a high-pitched tone rang through the walls. Finch ran in. "Sir, incoming movement, dozens of life signs. Fast." Damon stood. His eyes glowed silver. "Then they're here." As the team scrambled to prepare defenses, Damon climbed to the highest rock ledge overlooking the cavern's mouth. In the dark, dozens of glowing eyes blinked back. The hive had found them, but Damon didn't back away. He stared into the darkness and said aloud, "You want the hybrid?" He clenched his fists. "Then come take us," Elvara whispered with a spark of pride. "Let's show them what a true bond looks like." And in the silence that followed, the hybrid prepared to make a stand. The cavern was silent for only a moment. Then, chaos. The hive launched its assault. Silver and black creatures poured into the tunnel like a living wave, crawling on walls, sliding through cracks, floating through the air like liquid ghosts. Corporal Finch screamed, "They're everywhere!" The soldiers opened fire, plasma bolts flashing blue in the dark. The air filled with smoke and shrieks. But the hive was faster, smarter, adapted. One soldier was dragged away in seconds, disappearing into the mist. The other fired wildly until something sharp pierced through his chest. Now, only Damon and Finch remained. And Damon had changed. He moved, through the chaos like a storm, dashing, striking, predicting every movement. His body glowed faintly. Every time a creature reached for him, it hesitated, recognizing something familiar inside him. "They're confused," Elvara whispered inside his mind. "They can't tell if you're one of them, or something worse." Damon grinned, grimly. "Let's make it worse." He leapt from the rock ledge, landing hard in the center of the enemy swarm. Energy burst from his palms like shockwaves, knocking hive units back. Finch gasped. "Sir, what are you?" Damon didn't answer. He raised his hands. Streams of glowing light arced from his fingertips, frying two creatures mid-air. "Careful," Elvira warned. "The more power I lend you, the more they'll feel my signal. They'll bring bigger ones." "They already have," Damon muttered. From the rear of the swarm, a massive shadow emerged. It was 8 feet tall, pulsing with dark red veins, 4 arms, a twisted face that looked almost human but melted. Its voice echoed from its chest. "Hybrid. Abomination. You will be unmade." Damon's heart pounded. Elvira's voice grew sharp. "That's a mind splitter, built to extract consciousness. If it touches me, if it touches you, we both die." The mind splitter charged. Damon rolled to the side as a huge fist slammed into the ground. Stone cracked. Dust exploded. He fired his rifle. No effect. He threw a grenade. The creature absorbed it. "We need more," Damon shouted. "I can't hurt it," Elvira answered. "Then use me." He paused. "What?" "Fully. Don't just borrow power. Let me guide your body. Trust me, Damon." For a moment he hesitated. Then he whispered, "Do it." And the moment he said yes, his body moved like water. He dodged the second strike without thought. His fingers danced across the rifle controls, twisting it into a form no human had used. It fired a beam of white-hot plasma that sliced through 3 minor hive units. Damon no longer felt separate. He was them. He was her. One mind, one will. Together. The mind splitter lunged again, but Damon ran toward it. Using the wall, he flipped over the creature's back and plunged his energized blade deep into its neck. The beast roared, spinning wildly, but Damon held on. "Now!" Elvira screamed. Damon let go of the blade, and with it a burst of psychic energy exploded into the creature's spine. The mind splitter's body glowed red, then white, then shattered into dust. The remaining hive froze. Then they retreated, pulled back by some unseen order. Silence returned. Only the sound of Finch breathing remained. He dropped his weapon, eyes wide. That was impossible. Damon stood over the scattered remains, chest heaving, sweat running down his brow. But his voice was calm. "It's just beginning." Later, in the safety of an old generator chamber, Finch treated Damon's wounds in silence. Finally, he asked, "What happens now, sir?" Damon looked up. "We head to the surface. If Earth Command is listening, they need to know everything. The hive isn't just attacking bases, they're evolving, and now..." He touched his chest, where Elvira's presence pulsed like a second heartbeat. "They'll never stop hunting me." Finch stared. "Then why not separate? If she's inside you, can't she come out again?" Damon shook his head. "She's part of me now, not like before. The merge is complete. If I die, she dies. If she fades, I do too." Finch whispered, "That's terrifying." A pause. "Yeah," Damon said softly, "but it also feels right." Inside his mind, Elvira whispered gently, "I won't let you fall, Damon," and he believed her. Days passed. Damon and Finch finally reached the surface. The world above wasn't as they left it, burnt, broken, and full of wreckage. The Earth colony base had been fully destroyed. Smoke still rose from the hills, and black marks covered the sky like scars. But in the far distance, one thing still stood: the Earth Command Relay Tower. Damon and Finch moved quickly, staying low. The relay station looked damaged but untouched by the hive. Strange. As they entered the main chamber, Damon touched the controls. To his surprise, they lit up. "Someone left this online," Finch whispered. Damon nodded. "Or something wants us to think that." Still, he activated the emergency channel. "Earth Command, this is Lieutenant Damon Cruz of Zenthra 9. Do you read?" Seconds passed. Then a voice crackled through the speaker. "Lieutenant Cruz, you're alive?" He sighed in relief. "Yes, but listen. Zenthra is compromised. Hive forces have adapted. They're no longer just attacking, they're hunting me, because I'm no longer just human." A pause. Then, "Explain." Damon's hands gripped the panel. I merged with one of them, a female who broke from their hive mind. Her name is Elvira. She's inside me. We bonded to survive. And now, he closed his eyes. I think we became something the hive fears. Inside his mind, Elvira whispered gently, "Do you regret it, Damon?" "No," he said out loud. "I've never felt more alive." Suddenly, the door exploded. Soldiers stormed in. Not hive units, Earth Marines, fully armed, shouting, "Step away from the console." Hands in the air. Finch raised his hands immediately. Damon did not. One soldier aimed directly at his chest. "We received your message. You said you're infected?" "I merged," Damon said calmly. "Not infected. She saved me, and I saved her." One officer stepped forward, a captain with a stern face. "You expect us to believe that?" "I don't care what you believe," Damon said. "You either help me stop the hive or watch them erase everything." The captain hesitated. "We were ordered to extract you. But if you're compromised..." Suddenly a voice cut in. From behind the soldiers walked a scientist, older, with white hair and a tablet in hand. "I've been listening to your signal," she said, "and I've reviewed the neural readings coming from his body. This isn't infection." She looked directly at Damon. "This is evolution." Back on Earth, in the high towers of command, Damon was taken into containment, but not as a prisoner, as a specimen. They ran tests, scanned his body, observed his reflexes. He broke every record. His muscles responded faster than peak human soldiers. His brain processed patterns even supercomputers couldn't follow. And yet, he showed no aggression, no hive behavior, only control, only focus. And every night he sat alone in his quarters speaking softly to her. "Are you still there, Elvira?" "Always," she whispered from within. One evening a general came to him. "You're not human anymore," the general said coldly. "But you're not one of them either. So what does that make you?" Damon looked up slowly, his silver eyes glowing. "It makes me hope." They tried to keep him hidden, but the hive found Earth's signal again. Soon, hive ships entered the outer solar system. A scouting fleet was detected near Jupiter. The invasion was no longer theory. It had begun. Command had no choice. They brought Damon before the High Council, and the general asked him one final question. "If we give you a ship, what will you do?" Damon smiled faintly. "I'll end it." And so it began. They gave him a ship, small, fast, and wired with both Earth tech and alien systems only he could control. The galaxy now whispered his name, the hybrid, both feared and respected. Inside him, Elvira's voice stayed steady. "We're not done, Damon. We've only just begun." He replied, "Let's show the universe what becoming one really means." As his ship blasted into space, heading toward the Hive fleet, the stars didn't look cold anymore, they looked like home.